Godzilla. I can't say I've ever seen that before. And welcome to Las Vegas. Well, more specifically, the south part of the Las Vegas Strip in what I would describe as a colossal wasted opportunity. It should be a pedestrian paradise, but you'll see what I mean by that as I make my way north up the Strip. I'm going to start from here where the Luxor is. There it is there. And that's a hotel I stayed at in 2016. There's the Mandalay Bay behind it. I did not stay in the Pyramid though. I was in one of these newer additions just on the right. And that is right next to, the Excalibur. And there's a free monorail that runs between the three hotels right here. The Excalibur, the Luxor, and the Mandalay Bay. I was originally going to start this walk south of here, down by the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign, but I think that's a good 20-minute hike off in that direction. And over there is where the Tropicana used to be. They're currently building a baseball stadium for the Oakland Athletics, or I guess Sacramento Athletics, to relocate to in a few years from now. And these hotels on the left were all the rage in the early 90s, these highly themed hotels. These ones are all part of the MGM group. And I remember being a little bit disappointed when I went to the Luxor. They had stripped most of the Egyptian theming away from the interior. And I think it lost a lot of its charm and character. This is definitely a popular one for families to stay at. And there's another one much north of here called Circus that features the Adventure Dome. I will not be making it that far north up the Strip. Perhaps if I do a part 2 to this walk and cover the northern part of the Strip, I'll have to do that tomorrow if I do. But this part of the Strip has always been on the quiet side, but things are going to change as soon as I cross this big intersection coming up. That's going to require going up an escalator and cutting through a building with a casino. It's all part of the ridiculous charm of Las Vegas. There's the MGM Grand over there. And I swear that OYO hotel was a Hooters hotel the last time I was here. Things have been changing quite a lot. But they're in the midst of a massive tourist slump, although you wouldn't know it on this particular weekend. The National Finals Rodeo is taking place. It's the final weekend, which historically brings very large crowds to the event. Also, it's the weekend of the NBA Cup semifinals. The tournament games are happening today at T-Mobile Arena, which is coming up. I picked a rather quiet spot to start the stream. And while I've been to Las Vegas before, I'm by no means an expert. I'll do my best to talk about the various properties and some of my experiences here as I go past them, but there's certainly going to be more informative tours of this place on YouTube. And there's New York, New York. So this part of the Strip is really dominated by MGM. And there's that, I almost said classic, but Togo roller coaster. I think it's about $25 to ride it. I rode it a few times my last time here. And frankly, it is not very good. Togo wasn't a particularly good manufacturer. They were the company behind the Skyrider. At Canada's Wonderland. All right, let's go up the first of many escalators. That'll be an ongoing theme. I think the Tropicana was the most recent of a number of major hotel demolitions. I think it's widely understood that those monks aren't actually monks. They're just trying to hustle some cash out of you. And these street workers are not allowed to charge prices. They are tips only. They'll definitely try to take advantage of you if they can. But we're gonna cut through the New York. I could head down there. Then I would have to head back up an escalator. I'm gonna be doing most of this walk on the west side. This is kind of what I meant by my earlier comparison to walking through all the duty-free shops without having much of a say in it. The Strip is very much a case of prioritizing profits over walkability. A lot of the casino operators built right up to the sidewalk. In fact, there often is no sidewalk in front of their properties. Here's a look at the casino floor. You can generally record if you're walking through a casino. You just can't stop and point the camera at people playing games. Security will take issue with that. I talked to a few people who made videos in Las Vegas about that just before I came. And if security gives you an issue, just keep moving. And this is another theme we'll come across. There are no ways for pedestrians to cross. You got to go up an escalator. If you have an accessibility issue, well, screw you, I guess. I don't mean to be shitting all over Las Vegas. It's certainly a very fun place and it has a lot of charm. And there's a reason so many people come here. But these casino hotel properties are designed for you to stay there and essentially be held captive. They've got minimal wayfinding signs. They're quite huge. They all seem to have a shopping area, a number of restaurants and bars. Of course, there's the casino. They they'd rather you not leave. And that's also reflected in the transportation here. Let's take the stairs. You get stuck waiting behind people often enough. But the Luxor opened, I think, in 1993. That was that pyramid-shaped hotel. The Excalibur, that castle-shaped one, a few years before that, in 1990. And New York, New York in 1997. The Tropicana dates back to 1957. That was imploded quite recently. And the MGM Grand, which was known for suffering a big fire, opened in 1993. I think David Copperfield is still the big resident performer there. He was there when I was here in 2016. I just find this side of the strip to be more interesting than being on the east side. But it's kind of quiet and almost sanitized on this part of the South Strip. But once I get up to around where the Aria is, it'll change in character quite a bit. But in the first half of 2025, visitors were down, I think, almost 7%. Which is not an insignificant number. And then there was a steep crash in July. And numbers had pretty much rebounded to their pre-COVID numbers. And Canadian travel to Las Vegas is down 31%. And some Canadian airlines reported a drop in traffic of up to 60%. Pretty love words in your ear, lay you down and tell you all the things my woman loves to hear. These characters are just like the ones in New York City. I think they're a little less aggressive. Again, they're only legally allowed to work for tips. There's an oxygen bar. But this weekend, it's my understanding, is an anomaly. Hotel prices were way up with the NBA event and the rodeo and all the conference centers being mostly full. This apparently isn't representative of what things have been like. And if you're wondering what the hell I am doing in Las Vegas, as a Canadian who isn't too fond of the dear leader down here, well, I was invited by someone coming here for a conference and basically offered a free stay at the Venetian, which is where we're heading to. And the more I thought about it, the more I didn't think it was so bad. I know people that have come I have a good friend that I was supposed to come to Vegas with earlier, but we canceled our trip after all of that nonsense went down. He came here a few months ago and said it was a great time. It is what it is. I essentially work for an American company, being Google. I don't gamble. That is one thing I do not allow myself to do. That's quite the money pit. I don't really find that entertainment. But look how pedestrian hostile this place is. We've got this major 8-lane strode going up the middle. Very unfriendly crossing signals. You want to cross the street? Take a bridge. Absurd this is, and it gets even worse the more north we get. There's a number of reasons for that. One of them being that Las Vegas grew up in the era of the automobile, at least the Strip did.
You guys can't split a pole.
And another factor is the taxi mafia here.
Yes, sir. Nice. Are you okay? Okay. Yes, sir. Go, sir. Go, sir. Find your back. It's on a restaurant or restaurant?
Definitely need some patience wandering through here. I'll talk a little bit more about those reasons in a moment. This part of the Strip has had a bit of a cleanup. I think it was around 2017, a year after I was here, they started redoing a lot of these properties. It's a lot nicer than it was. And this is one of the better examples of a nice wide continuous sidewalk you'll find on the Strip. And across the street is where the old Monte Carlo used to be. And if I were to come to Las Vegas again, I would stay at that hotel, the Park MGM, at least if I was staying at a casino hotel. And the reason for that is the only casino that is smoke-free on the entire Strip. That cigarette smell really gets to you. And where I'm staying at the Venetian, anything even remotely close to the casino floor, which is the only place smoking is allowed other than standalone bars that don't serve food. It is, in a word, gross if you're not a fan of secondhand smoke. It's a very, very unhealthy environment to be in. But T-Mobile Arena, where the Las Vegas Golden Knights play, is just over there as well. That's often where the UFC will hold big events. This complex across the street was new when I was here. That's more reflective of the more modern design philosophy of Las Vegas hotels and casinos. The elaborate theming is a thing of yesterday, although that seems to be coming back with the new Hard Rock going up, which we'll see towards the end of this video. I don't think all this high-end shopping, or not high-end, but nicer shopping was here last time I was here. Abercrombie, Lululemon. And since I was speaking about transit, there is no monorail or train, even though the airport is literally right across the street from where I started recording, right behind where the Tropicana used to be. You have to take a Lyft or Uber just to get out of there. This is almost tailor-made for there to be a monorail or above-ground train, something to just go right up the Strip. But a lot of the hotel and casino operators couldn't agree on a route or locations. They didn't want anything to favor one of their competitors' properties that would shuttle people away from them. So what happened was MGM built one between the three hotels right where I started that's free. There's another monorail that runs between the MGM Grand just to the right and I think the Flamingo. That'll cost you $6. It is very annoying to access. There's also Elon Musk's stupid Hyperloop up north on this strip towards the convention center. But the Deuce bus will take you up to Fremont Street, Old Downtown or Old Vegas. She's having a good time. That looks like a rental LV drop top. But in addition to the casinos, who couldn't agree on a public transit line, the taxi companies also strongly objected to it. So if you want to take a bus, wait 15 minutes and ride in traffic. Honestly, this part of the strip isn't so bad. It's just less interesting. It's much more pedestrian friendly. There's the Cosmopolitan across the street. Those opened around 2009 and 2010, actually. And we can't even see the monorail line. It's so far back. That's another thing. It is so far out of the way, and the signs are poorly marked. It's almost as if they don't want you to take it.
Let's go.
Hilton Grand Vacations, I think, is about 10 years old. Luxury retailers over there. But normally, I think the hotel where I'm staying at would be about $169 a night, plus resort fees, which I'm not sure what they are, but this weekend it's over $400 a night USD. So all those reports of Las Vegas is dying or in deep financial trouble aren't going to be so visible on this one. Not one across the street? All right. Take the elevator or the stairs, or a smelly, sometimes not even working elevator, or take the escalator or the stairs. We're gonna have to walk through that building over there. Why? Because fuck pedestrians. Doesn't seem to be any concept of walk left, stand right here. Just take the stairs if you want to use your legs. I've only ran into a few other Canadians. I think the so-called Trump slump or patriotic boycott is still very much a real thing for a lot of Canadians. I got some grief for coming here. A number of people telling me they were unsubscribing when I did a live stream from here yesterday. All right, well, you're still using YouTube, an American platform, so who's the hypocrite? Buffalo Wild Wings. But a lot of hotels have been doing, and casinos, what they call quiet layoffs. There's been dealer cuts, a lot of shifts have been cut. You'll find very erratic pricing. They're trying to make as much money as they can when there's any demand. But it's been so bad, even the MGM CEO went on record apologizing, admitting they had, his words were, lost the narrative by charging luxury rates for basic amenities during a difficult financial time for a lot of people. Hey, I'm just trying to walk on the sidewalk, and look at this, I'm walking through a shopping area. It's just mind-boggling when you think how inefficient this is. But hey, you gotta keep those car traffic flowing through the streets, right? But hey, if it's your thing, it's your thing. The Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. I know a lot of people that come here and have a good time. And honestly, it's not a huge deal. If you are able-bodied, if you are not, then you're in for a very frustrating time. There's an ATM. Oh, we're gonna see some nice lights coming up. I think at this time of day, Las Vegas is at its best visually. There's Planet Hollywood. I ate at that Ramsay Burger last time I was here. We are in a desert city with a population of 600,000. Although Las Vegas itself, I think, is in Henderson and is administered by Clark County. At least the Strip is. And I think they'll charge you to take a picture with them. That's all that is. All right, the South Strip, I think, is transitioning into more of the Center Strip. I don't know if these ticket places are the best place to get them. I did get tickets to see Penn and Teller last time I was here, but I got them online. They were playing over at the Rio, and I think they're still there. But I've heard if you wait till close to showtime, you can get a deal on a show that's not sold out. There's the Bellagio with its famous outdoor fountain show. I live streamed that yesterday, actually. Planet Hollywood here is operated by Caesars, another big operator. Them and MGM are the big two. There's a few others. I think those ones across the street, the Aria and the Cosmopolitan, aren't operated by either of them. Of course, there's the Wynn and the Encore, which aren't operated by either of those. But we are 6 minutes away from the fountain show at the Bellagio. Chippendales, that's still a thing? Get your yourself a small frozen daiquiri, 19 US. But the Bellagio there opened in 1998. That's part of the MGM Resorts. That's an absolutely huge complex. And those fountains run every 30 minutes on weekdays, every 15 on weekends, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately, there's a lot of construction, so you can't just go stand on the strip. You have to stand behind them and off to the side. Look at that nice pedestrian-friendly crossing. The fountain shows about 4 or 5 minutes. But the strip itself, I think, began forming in the 40s. Originally, the casinos were on Fremont Street, where many still are. An area a lot of people prefer. They call it downtown Vegas or Old Vegas. But the regulations were a little looser on the strip, so things started to get built and migrate this way. And no, that is not the Champs-Élysées. That's the Paris Hotel. That opened in 1999, featuring its faux Eiffel Tower. Apparently that is half the scale of the actual Eiffel Tower. They do not give pedestrians much time to cross here.
Had a couple beers with one of my friends, told them just how the story ends.
Got free parking for you, babe.
Try to make it work, but you drove my heart through the outbound dirt. I've been at the house, climbing in walls, tripping that calendar.
I've had a pretty positive experience. For urban design aside, I've met a lot of very, very friendly folks who have been nothing but gracious and nice. Not just servers, but people on the elevator in and around the hotel. The food has been fantastic and not quite as outrageously priced as I thought it would be or had remembered. My first night here, I went to Ellis Island, an off-strip casino and brewery known for its great value. So I guess that helped with not overpaying. The old 360 camera. There's the Deuce. I think that's $6 for a 2-hour pass or $4 for a one-way ticket, and you can just tap with your credit card. I haven't even taken any cash out. I've been able to tap everywhere. Walking to where I started to record this, I had there's the fountain show. I had a number of people grab my arm and try to pull me in. And again, the sidewalk is closed over there. I guess I kind of timed this well, though. If you're wondering where I'm walking, it's on this narrow strip. So we are almost at the Linq. That's the horseshoe. And there's Caesar's Palace, who I think are in all sorts of financial trouble. That's a monster complex over there. Oh, we just missed the big explosion. I'm an idiot. Turn the camera away at the worst time. Bottled blondes.
Not madumi.
All right, let's keep moving. All right, the sidewalk is closed just over there. So we will enjoy this forced detour.
So fast.
I've got reservations tonight at a French restaurant at the Venetian called Bouchon. And I've got them tomorrow at an Asian restaurant called Tao, also at the Venetian. But I think the Linq Promenade is probably my favorite spot, at least on this trip. That Fat Tuesday place sells daiquiris all over. This is Flamingo Road, and one of the oldest hotels in Vegas, the Flamingo, is coming up. Oops. The camera was starting to go nuts there. When I walked to Ellis Island, it was a few blocks south that way. Still probably a good 15 minutes from here. There's a smelly cat. And the Rio and the Palms are off in that direction. Well, I hope you like country music, because you will be hearing a lot of it. But one of the big attractions here is the High Roller, a giant Ferris wheel. That's just straight ahead. On the other side of the Flamingo here, which opened in 1946. It's a very old casino. And it's where Wayne Newton and Piff the Magic Dragon do their residencies. And you could very easily just cut through the casino there, but I'll stick to the sidewalk. I don't know what the deal is with Piff the Magic Dragon. And RuPaul, it looks like. There's Hell's Kitchen. That's inspired by the TV show. They don't film the TV show there. That's the second Gordon Ramsay burger I've walked past. There was another one, I think, at the Planet Hollywood. No, thank you. Someone just tried to put a bracelet on my wrist. All right, I'll keep the camera away from the guy on the right. Open alcohol, I wish we had that. But to put some perspective on the prices, in 2016 I came here with a girlfriend for 5 nights. And for airfare and 5 nights at the Luxor, I just checked and I paid $12.76 for 2 of us. Flights and hotel included. I think that was subject to resort fees, which quite recently were legislated to be part of the hotel price listing, but that wasn't the case when we booked. They were surprised when we got here. I think that was about an extra $50 a night.
Motherfucker!
All right. These girls here will charge you to take your picture with them. This is the Linq Promenade. We'll just quickly look down here. I'll stop recording and then I'll walk back to the other side of the Linq Promenade and resume recording. This is where I had lunch today. I went to the In-N-Out Burger. I just think this is worth checking out. The Linq's this big hotel that was built, or it opened in 2014. It was formerly, I think, called the Imperial. And it's got this zip line overhead. That wasn't running today. And there's the high roller straight ahead. The second biggest Ferris wheel in the whole world. It's 550 feet. I think there's one in Abu Dhabi that's bigger. That costs about $48 US. No thanks. It's one of those daiquiri places. This place on the left turns into like a club at night. There's a lot of dancing and stuff. Chao Mexican Kitchen and Tequila Bar. You can cut through the casino there. This is really nice and pleasant. Just proves when you pedestrianize an area how much more pleasant it is. The In-N-Out Burger I went to was just up ahead here. If you're wondering, why would you go to In-N-Out Burger? Well, we don't have those in Canada. We have Shake Shack. We used to have Johnny Rockets. We had Carl's Jr. for a while. Last time here I made a point to eat Shake Shack. That was before we had it. I also had White Castle last time here, but I had never had an In-N-Out Burger. They did a pop-up in Toronto before. But apparently there was a very, very long lineup for it. There's the high roller. There's a cinema straight ahead. There's the In-N-Out Burger. All right, I said I was going to stop recording, but I think what I'll do is cut through the casino. And we'll pop out on the other side. And it's actually a shortcut if this is the casino I'm thinking of, because the sidewalk gets cut off again.
I'm afraid to hold your hand real hard.
And if Vegas had more areas like this, I think it would be a lot easier to recommend it. Off the Strip. But on the Strip prices, most entrees at places like this are $20 to $40 US. It's really not any more expensive than you pay at equivalent places in Toronto. All right, let's see if we can cut through the casino and not get told off. And the smell of smoke immediately fills the air. Beer pong. Again, my advice, or the advice I got, was just keep walking when you go into a casino, don't stop. They will let people record themselves playing as long as they're not getting anyone else into the shot. A lot of slot machines. Ooh, that cigarette smoke is awful. Ooh. There's a casino coming up called Harrah's, where I was able to score free tickets to a magic show last time I was here. I just had to walk into the VIP area and ask for them. I found that tip online. Guy Fieri's Vegas, Celebrity Chef. There's a lot of those here. It's pleasant enough to eat outside. There's a live music place, Carnival Court. There's another casino I could cut through. But this is what I mean by the sidewalk gets cut off. And that building straight ahead under construction is the old Mirage hotel property. They're turning it into a Hard Rock and building a giant guitar-shaped building. So that's kind of the return to themed properties, at least for that one. And all day long, there was a loud helicopter, which I could hear clearly from my hotel room, bringing, I guess, things that were too heavy to transport to the site otherwise. And the street was just lined with people recording it. I guess that's not something they see too often. Monorail Center Station. I think this is the end stop of the monorail.
Yeah, you know, I'm a 9-figure nigga. We put him on 10 by 10. You spin that bitch, you spin it again. We bitch you. We check some money, nigga. Fuck friends. Pussy.
There's Casino Royale. No, the James Bond book was not based on this. And where I got my morning breakfast. I think they were actually inspired by the James Bond novel. I think that was renamed the Casino Royale in 1992. I think the novel goes back to the 1950s.
Everyone wants immediate gratification.
Beer, $3 a bottle?
Club aims to please. Carded slot and video poker players are immediately awarded player payback play credits to reimburse their first $20 of loss. And then
it's known for being a discounted casino. And here's a chain.
Attention players, don't lose out on earning player payback rewards for your slot and video poker play. Get your player's card from any slot.
$24 again, I think, for a small one. Double that for a big one.
Our Players Club wants to help extend your playtime.
And that used to be the Mirage, and I think there was a big volcano in front of it that went up back during the theming wars. And Treasure Island had a big outdoor display as well. That would light up about once an hour.
And continually awarding invited players free play credits. Earn $20 in player payback free slot points.
So this is kind of the north end of the center strip. And there's where I pick up my water and Gatorade and any snacks, that Walgreens. There's another Walgreens on the other side of the Venetian. I'm gonna do a video through the Venetian, touring it and my hotel room. It is absurd the hoops you have to jump through just to get to your hotel room. This is the epitome of designed to be holding you captive. It's also where those outdoor gondola rides are, also indoor. They offer both.
I'm not gonna let it bother me in that way.
You know what?
But the entrance to the hotel is that way. And the first time I tried to come outside of the strip, I thought I would go to reception and just pop out the door. Oops, sorry. I think there's some people looking for their way, but the entrance to the hotel is way down there, and it is super not pedestrian friendly to go that way. Instead, I normally come out of that second floor there, go up that bridge and down it. Sure. Well, I took a picture for that group of people, and they gave me a whole stack of business cards, you could call them. Yeah, I'm not keeping these in my luggage. I don't really want to throw them out in a hotel room because they'll think, who the hell was that staying here? There's Treasure Island, Palazzo, and the Venetian. So I'm going to take the inefficient trek up to the room. I'm going to wrap up recording this right here. Is anyone out doing any late night gondola rides? I think these only last about 13 minutes. They're probably fun to try. There's the Black Tap. I almost went there last night. But anyways, I didn't mean to be overly negative. I actually think if this is for you, it's a pretty awesome place. I understand the appeal, but what should have been a 20-minute walk took almost an hour. It is so inefficiently designed. They want to just hold you captive in each of these giant casinos and hotels, but I'll be doing a walkthrough of this hopefully tomorrow if all goes to plan, so you can find that on the channel in the near future. But I look forward to your thoughts and comments and what you think of Vegas. And if you want to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. There's a couple of ladies are out for a romantic cruise. Will I be back to Vegas? Well, I said I wouldn't the last time I was here, and here I am, so who knows? Can I even go in here? Whatever. This is a very inefficient way. I'm gonna walk all the way around here, and then I'm gonna have to go back around. Or I could go up there. Anyways, that's my problem. I'm gonna end recording. Thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.